What turns an ordinary person into a monster? How can someone who once held compassion in their heart inflict unimaginable pain on another? This is the Lucifer Effect, a chilling transformation of humanity into inhumanity, as explored by psychologist Philip Zimbardo. It forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Given the right circumstances, we are all capable of evil. The Lucifer Effect, named after the biblical story of Lucifer's fall from grace, explores why good people commit bad deeds. It's not just about individual choices, but about how external forces, power, identity, and societal structures manipulate morality. This effect is not confined to history or fiction. It happens in real life, in real time, and often in ways we least expect. In 1971, psychologist Philip Zimbardo conducted the infamous Stanford Prison Experiment. Ordinary college students were assigned roles, guards or prisoners. Within days, the guards turned cruel, humiliating the prisoners. The experiment was cut short because the psychological abuse became unbearable. Why did this happen? The answer lies in psychological mechanisms, de-individuation, when you lose your sense of self in a group. This explains why masked groups, like the Ku Klux Klan, committed atrocities. The anonymity of a uniform or a hood disconnects people from their actions. Obedience to authority. Stanley Milgram's experiment proved that most people are willing to harm others if an authority figure tells them to. Participants shocked a screaming learner, believing they were administering fatal doses of electricity, all because a man in a lab coat told them to continue. Look at Abu Ghraib, where U.S. soldiers tortured detainees. These were not inherently evil people, but ordinary individuals who were shaped by authority, peer pressure, and a toxic environment. This is the Lucifer Effect in action. Psychology explains the individual, but sociology explains the system. One of the most haunting examples is the Rwandan genocide of 1994. Propaganda had painted the Tutsi population as cockroaches. Fueled by years of manipulation and fear, neighbors turned on neighbors, killing over 800,000 people. This isn't an isolated incident. In hierarchical systems, groupthink dominates. At Enron, employees perpetuated corporate fraud because dissent was punished, and unethical behavior was rewarded. Social structures incentivize compliance, and morality becomes optional. William Golding's Lord of the Flies illustrates this perfectly. A group of boys, isolated from societal norms, descends into chaos. This story mirrors real-world situations where the absence of accountability unleashes humanity's darkest instincts. The Lucifer Effect challenges a fundamental belief that morality is innate. Hannah Arendt's study of Adolf Eichmann, a Nazi officer, coined the term banality of evil. Eichmann wasn't a monster in the traditional sense. He was an ordinary bureaucrat who followed orders without questioning their morality. He wasn't filled with hatred, he was detached, viewing genocide as a logistical task. This idea is terrifying because it means that evil isn't always fueled by malice. Sometimes, it's a lack of moral reflection. But morality isn't entirely fragile. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, wrote that even in the worst conditions, individuals can choose their attitude. His resilience, and that of people like Sophie Scholl, who resisted the Nazis at the cost of her life, shows us that choice still exists, even in darkness. Power plays a critical role in the transformation from good to evil. Lord Acton's famous words, "Power tends to corrupt and absolute power corrupts absolutely," ring true across history. Take the case of Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos. Once a celebrated entrepreneur, she falsified data, endangering lives. Her rise and fall show how the pursuit of success and unchecked authority can corrupt even the most visionary leaders. Power changes identity. People adopt roles, guards, leaders, or soldiers, that allow them to dissociate from their personal values. This dissociation is central to the Lucifer Effect. It creates monsters out of those who might otherwise be moral individuals. Philosophy adds another layer to the Lucifer Effect. Nietzsche argued that morality is a tool of the powerful, used to control others. When societal constraints are removed, as in war or anarchy, latent desires emerge, sometimes destructively. But Jean-Paul Sartre's existentialism reminds us that we are condemned to be free. Even under extreme conditions, we retain the freedom to choose. Sartre's philosophy converges with Viktor Frankl's idea: in oppressive systems, the ultimate resistance is moral courage. These ideas teach us that while systems and circumstances shape behavior, individuals must take responsibility for their actions. How can we resist the Lucifer effect? The key lies in education, accountability, and moral courage. By teaching critical thinking and empathy, we can prevent conformity to evil. Whistleblower protections and checks on power limit the systems that foster corruption. Oskar Schindler, who saved hundreds of Jews during the Holocaust, reminds us that even in darkness, light is possible. He chose compassion over complicity. That choice is always available to us, no matter how dire the circumstances. The Lucifer Effect is a warning and a challenge. It reveals how psychological, sociological, and moral forces can turn anyone into a monster. But it also reminds us of the enduring power of choice. By understanding the forces that shape behavior, we can confront the darkness within ourselves and work toward a world that upholds humanity's highest ideals. The question isn't just, why do men become monsters? But, how can we ensure they don't? The Lucifer Effect, understand it to defy it.